जयगुरु संक्षिप्त स्तोत्र वंदना। ओम ब्रह्मानंदम परम सुखदम केवलम ज्ञानमूर्ति द्वंद्वातीतम गगन सदृशम तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलं मचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। जय गुरु श्री श्री ठाकुर महाराजंगर अपार करुणा बलरू आमे आज पुणी निगम स्वाध्याय अपूर्व पंथर यही सेवार समस्त अंश ग्रहण करें। यही सेवाटी आम समस्त को बहुत प्रेरणा, बहुत उद्दीपना एवं आम संस्कार परिवर्तन हबारे पूर्वतन संस्कार वर्जन नूतन संस्कार अर्जन करिबारे सहायक बोली आपण माने समस्ते 250तम अधिवेशन निज निज भाव व्यक्त कर सारी। सो ए संबंध रे गोटे कथा एमिति प्रतिदिनर जीवनचर्या को देखिकी चिंता करुथली। आज मनकर आलू जेते बेले प्रथम किरी किए जने आलू देखि थिबो एमती भूई रे होउची मु काई चिंता कली। आपण माने आजिकली देखिबे हमर आसाम होउची भारत रे आसाम होउची टी चा पई प्रसिद्ध एवं सेठी गोटी पर्टिकुलर चा मिले। सो नॉर्मल चा तापरे आसिला ग्रीन टी तापरे एबे आसिलानी ब्लू टी रेड टी आपण केते प्रकार फ्लेवर रोज टी मंदार चा माने जदि आपण कहिबे ताले 100 रु ऊपर प्रकार फ्लेवर आसिलानी। तो धीरे धीरे एगुड़ा सब इन्वेंट होउची केमती इन्वेंट हला मु तेणु से हिसाब रे चिंता कली। जते आलू प्रथम की मिली थिबो लोक मानकू भूई तळे तो आलू एमती तळू आस्थिबो तापरे गोटे एमती ठीक साइज नथिबो शेप नथिबो केमती हबो कोन हबो ताकू किए जाने ताकू रेसिपी बनै थिबो बनै कि ताकू प्रिपेयर करि थिबो। प्रिपेयर कला परे वर्तमान देखंतु से एमितिया गोटे जिनिस एमिति का घर नहीं चाहे कि पूरा नॉन वेज फैमिली होंतु वेज फैमिली होंतु एमिति का घर नहीं जा घरे आलू नथिबो से एते उपादेय जिनिस हे गला बनैबा पई सहज रखिबा पई सहज माने वाइडली एक्सेप्टेड हेला केमिति कला किए ताकू तेणु से माटी रे आवर्जित ही पड़ी थिबा एमती गोटे जिनिस को जने किए माँ ताकू करिथिबे। तेणु से माँ को आज मन पकईकि आमे प्रणाम करवा सह से हिसाब रे आमे देखिबा जे आमे निजे गोटे प्रकार जीवन यापन आमे करूचे। जे स्वाध्याय कला परे जने माँ भी कहितले वर्ड बोधवे केंद्र सेविका संघर माँ से कि पठित पाठरे जदि जीवन गठित नहला तेणु आम मैंने सब आलू आमको ये जो स्वाध्याय ताकू ज्ञान भक्तिर मिर्च मसाला देकी आउ शासन शासनर ताप देकी ନରମ କରି ଏସବୁ କରିକି ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ ମାନେ ସେ ଆଳୁଟି ଯେମିତି ଗୋଟେ ସ୍ୱାଦିଷ୍ଟ ବସ୍ତୁ ହେଇଯାଉଛି, ଆମମାନଙ୍କୁ ଏଇ ସ୍ୱାଧ୍ୟାୟ ସେଇଭଳି ଗୋଟେ ପରଫେକ୍ଟ ଆଦର୍ଶ ଭାବରେ ସହାୟକ ହବ, ହଉଛି ବୋଲି ଆପଣମାନେ କହୁଛନ୍ତି। ଠାକୁର କହିଛନ୍ତି ଏବଂ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ ଆଦେଶରେ ଆମେ କରୁଛନ୍ତି। ତେଣୁ ଏଇ ହିସାବରେ ଆମେ ୟାକୁ ସମସ୍ତେ ସେତିକି ଶ୍ରଦ୍ଧା ଭକ୍ତି ନିଷ୍ଠାର ସହିତ ସହିତ ମନୋଯୋଗୀ ହବା, ସୋ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଆମେ ବି ଦିନେ ସେଇଭଳି ଗୋଟେ ଅପରିଚିତ ମାନେ ଅପର୍ଯ୍ୟସ୍ତ ଆଳୁ ଯେମିତି ଆଜି ସବୁ ଘରେ ଘରେ ପରିଚିତ, ସବୁ ଘରେ ଆଦୃତ, ସେଇଭଳି ଆମେ ସ୍ୱାଧ୍ୟାୟ ଦ୍ୱାରା ପ୍ରକୃତ ଜୀବନ ଗଠନ କରି ନିଜକୁ ଏମିତି ଭାବେ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କର ଆଦର୍ଶ ସେବକ ଭାବରେ କେମିତି ଗଢ଼ି ତୋଳି ପାରିବା, ଏଇଆ ଆମେ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କୁ ପ୍ରାର୍ଥନା ଜଣାଇ ଆଜିର ସ୍ୱାଧ୍ୟାୟ ସେବା ଆରମ୍ଭ କରିବା। We have got with us today Vighnaraj Tripathi Bhai from Kolkata Saraswat Sangh. Vighnaraj Tripathi Bhai has mentioned during his 250th Adhivesan Bhav Vinimay कि he hasn't missed a single swadhyay since the commencement of this seva. Marvelous. So it's an achievement. So Durgacharan Bhai had also told the same thing for Chaitanya Bhai. Chaitanya Bhai has never missed a Sangha Puja. So well done, Vighnaraj Bhai. May Thakurji bless you. We request you to start the Swadhyay Seva for today. Jayaguru.
Jayaguru to all bhais and mas, taking the blessings of Sri Sri Thakur Maharaj, I am starting the Swadhyay Seva. Jai. Next year, rounds of discussions and meetings were held. Many expressed their reservations about the possibility of holding Samyani at Puri. Earlier, Thakur had decided Bagara Dharmasala and other places to be hired for accommodation of devotees. But many argued that arranging food for so many devotees was almost impossible. Durgacharana Bhai categorically said that and came to Nilachal Kutira. While Durgacharana Bhai was taking a nap at Kutira, he heard a very familiar voice, and becoming alert, he saw Thakura sitting on a chair. A minute was lapsed before he bowed down to pay him his respect. Somehow he found his words and said, "Thakura, you have come." It was neither a statement nor a question. Thakura said smilingly, "Yes, I had promised to come here before Samayani and have kept my word." Durgacharana Bhai asked, "Thakura, can we take a stroll on the beach like before?" Thakura laughed and said, "Why not? Let us go." They went for a stroll on the beach, but it was not disclosed what they talked about or what he said to them before returning to the unknown land from where he came. It is evident from this divine performance that there existed no barrier between sthula means physical, sukma means subtle, or karana means casual world for him. He remains above time, condition, and situation. Strangely, after the incidents, money and material started pouring in, inspiring the devotees to reach the no return point to hold the Bhakta Samyani at Puri. When the Samyani at Puri was over with grand success, the Vigraha of Thakura was taken in procession on the return journey to Kutira. In front of Lord Jagannath's temple, thousands gathered to take part in procession. Hundreds joined Sankirtana. The procession was stopped for a while. Everybody enjoying the Sankirtana could not pay proper attention to his Vigraha. Suddenly it was found by somebody that the Vigraha or the photo is wet with water. Immediately Sri Vigraha was cleaned with a piece of cloth. But wetness did not go, and drops of water like sweat flowed out of Sri Vigraha. Then they knew it was not water droplets but the perspiration. This divine act was enacted in front of thousands present there. The car carrying Sri Vigraha was moved to shade of a tree, and after minutes of fanning, the perspiration stopped, and then only the procession was allowed to move ahead. The king and the queen of Bastar were religious minded people and were very much desirous to take shelter under Gurudev in order to embark on spiritual sadhana. One has no option but take shelter under one's guru to move in the path of spiritualism. They wanted to embark upon spiritual activities but did not know who was their guru. But as years of search became fruitless, King Prafulla Chandra Bhanjadev and Queen Prafulla Kumari remained in Brata at the temple of their family deity, Mother Dantakeswari. After some days, mother came in their dream and told them, your guru is Swami Nigamananda of Bengal. King and queen did not lose any time trying to locate him. After days of search and writing of letters, they came to know that Swami Nigamananda is residing at Nilachal Kutira Puri. They came to Puri and availed Diksha from Thakur at Nilachal Kutir. Queen Prafulla Kumari loved Thakur no less than she loves her father, and Thakur accepted her as his daughter. On their request, Thakur visited Bastar on Durga Puja Utsav and gave valuable discourses in the royal court to hundreds of people present in the royal court. Another incident took place when Thakur was on his way to pay a visit to the landlord's house in village. The landlord had made elaborate preparation for a grand reception, and days before Thakur's arrival, cooks were engaged to prepare sweets and delicacies for the occasion. On Thakur's arrival, he was accorded a very warm welcome and was taken in grand procession towards landlord's house. The landlord and other dignitaries were waiting at the palace to receive him. The procession started moving through the village with hundreds of people taking part in it. Suddenly, Thakur ordered the procession to be stopped in front of a poor man's thatched house. He got down from the decorated car and entered the house. The poor couple were standing on their veranda with folded hands and were watching the procession. Thakur sitting down in front of their house and entering it made them dumbfounded. They forgot their duty, courtesy, and even their very existence. Thakur, knowing their state of mind, said, "Are you not going to ask me to sit?" Their face became red in humiliation, and they at last found a mat and spreading it on the ground requested Thakur to be seated. Thakur sat cross-legged on it and said, "Now I am very hungry. Do you have something to eat?" Now the problem arose for them of how to serve the food. They had a single utensil or thali for both of them. Thakur laughed and said, "How can I take food in your utensil? Go bring a banana leaf and serve me food." They ran and brought a banana leaf. Thakur took a small portion of their offered food and told them, "You are going to get the diksha from me." They were at their wits end getting him in their house. Now diksha became a major problem for them. Thakur gave them diksha in a very simplest manner, not even heard before, and leaving the grateful but dazed couple behind, he again joined the procession, which moved towards the landlord's palace. From those two incidents, one can become sure that Thakur had prior knowledge of who are his disciples. Whoever they may be, either they are kings or poor cultivators, made no difference to him. Rather, he was more compassionate towards his poor disciples, knowing well that they have no resources and had to depend on him totally. Mr. Woodruff had some problems in acquiring knowledge about Hindu philosophy. He had done extensive research on Hindu philosophy and wanted to solve some complicated theoretical problems. He came to know that his problems can be solved by Swami Nigamananda. He collected information that Swami Nigamananda was living at Puri. He, after availing an appointment, came to Nilachal Kutira and met Thakur there. Mr. Woodruff wanted some clarification on Tantra, and Thakur explained, "Look, God has numerous powers. Tantra has dealt with the Maya, the power of the God, like that Vaishnava Shastra has dealt with Haldini power of God. Explaining the methods of devotion, he said major powers of gods are described by ancient scriptures such as Sandhini, and Haldini. If you want to know details regarding Swarupa Sakti, Tathastha Sakti, and Maya Sakti, you have to study Vaishnava Shastras." Mr. Woodruff wanted to know which books he should read, and Thakur said, "You better read Narada Panchatantra and Satsandarbha of Sri Jiva Goswami." After that, Mr. Woodruff returned being completely satisfied and came to Nilachal Kutira again after some time to be enlightened on certain spiritual matters. Thakur knew the levels of intelligence of different people and he satisfies us all, explaining the theories according to their eligibility. According to him, one set of fixed answer for all can never quench thirst of knowledge of different types of people. His teaching was unique by itself, for which whoever came to him had never returned without obtaining full satisfaction. Once a sannyasi arrived at Nilachal Kutira to meet Thakura. He was made to return on the first day, being asked to come next day. Before his arrival next day, Thakura had directed his sevak to receive him properly. When he was seated and made comfortable, Thakura asked him about the purpose of his visit. The sannyasi told him that he wanted to learn a specific yogic kriya which no one was able to teach him. After many months of inquiry, he got the advice from a prominent saint of Bombay to meet Swami Nigamananda. After correspondence with authorities of Mutt, he was informed about Thakura's present address and he had come to Puri. After some discussion on the particular yogic kriya, Thakura said to Durgacharana Bhai, Durgacharana, show the kriya to Sannyasi Maharaj. Durgacharana Bhai took him to another room and performed the kriya himself. They came back after few minutes and paying his respect to Thakura, Sannyasi Maharaj left being obliged. Before leaving, he told Durgacharana Bhai, you have learnt this kriya from him at such a young age. You do not know how lucky you are being showered with his blessings. This episode proves beyond doubt the greatness of Sri Sri Thakura Maharaj, who had thought young Durgacharana Bhai to be eligible and had taught him such a rare yogic kriya. The saying goes that great people nourishes great thoughts. Again, Thakura, while at Mutt, had a habit of walking around the garden. Once, while doing so, he observed a child, the student of Rishi Vidyalaya, playfully plucked a rose off with the rose of the rose plant. He sensed a childhood mischief rising in him and came near the boy. Jokingly, he told the boy, why did you pluck the flower? I will tell your principal and he will punish you, he told with a serious face, and the boy, believing his words, pleaded with him not to tell the principal. Takro said, I will definitely tell your principal and you will get a thrashing. The boy started crying, requesting him not to tell the principal. Not to tell the principal. Thakura smiled mischievously and left the boy on his own, and the boy left the place wiping his tears. Some days after, Thakura, while walking in the rose garden, plucked a flower absent-mindedly. Unfortunately or fortunately, the same boy saw him doing so. He came running to him and threatened him, saying that now it is his turn to inform the principal. Thakura pleaded with the small boy not to do so. The boy did not relent, and again he threatened to inform the principal. Thakura started crying, yet the boy did not stop threatening. The disciples working in the garden heard Thakura crying. They rushed to the spot but could not understand what had taken place. The boy told them what had happened and they tried to beat the boy. Thakura saved the boy, but it took some time for him to become normal. When close disciples asked him, Thakura, the boy was an ignorant child and being afraid he cried that day. But the garden, everything belongs to you. Why then you cried? Thakura laughed and said, it is Bhava Vinimaya. I had threatened the child and he cried. It was my turn to cry when he threatened me. Nothing unusual. Everybody laughed. Any knowledgeable person can well imagine at what level he had established himself. Scriptures have said that the self-realized Gyanis behave like children because their minds get extremely clean being washed with true knowledge. The innermost recess of Thakura was like that of a child, but he becomes stern when the necessity to upgrade a disciple spiritually arises. On the sector of spiritual development of his followers, he never does any compromise. As a matter of fact, it was very difficult to understand his behavior and ways of functioning. A family consisting of four members were living in a village of Tripura district. Old mother, her son Ashwini, daughter-in-law Sairabala, and their son were the members of the family. They were very poor, and Ashwini was the only earning member. Ashwini and his wife Sairabala were the devotees of Thakura and had kept a photo of him in their bedroom, which they worshipped daily. Their motherland their mother had a wrong notion and was sure that worshipping photos of saints brings in misfortune. She had told them to not to worship the photo of Thakura many times in the past. Ashwini never listened to her and tried several times to explain that she is harboring a wrong notion. His mother, being an orthodox woman, never believed him. However, Ashwini and Saurabala continued their worship in spite of their mother's displeasure. Once misfortune struck that poor family and Ashwini, the only earning member, died a premature death in cholera. Losing the only earning member of the family reigned under extreme difficulties and deep sadness. Mother became confirmed that the misfortune had come because of worshipping of the Vigraha, means photo of Thakura. The heartbroken old lady snatched the photo and telling repeatedly, Ashwini is gone because of you. Now you must also go. She ran to throw the photo in the nearby pond. When she neared the pond and was on the verge of throwing the Vigraha to water, she heard a voice telling her, "Oh mother, am I not your son?" She stood transfixed at the voice, and the voice came nearer. Suddenly she saw Thakura standing before her. She could instantly recognize him as she had observed his photo. Thakura said, "Mother, let us return home. I will call you mother and take care of your family." Thakura came to their house with the old woman. Entering the house, the old woman found no mat to offer him to seat. Knowing her anxiety, Thakura without hesitation sat in her lap. Thakura called Soyabala saying, "Soya, rise. Look, I have come to your house." Soyabala, who was lying on the ground, rose and saw Thakura sitting in her mother-in-law's lap. She forgot her personal loss, her grief, and prostrated herself on ground before Thakura. Thakura said to them, "Do not worry. I will look after your family. Now I must leave, but I will come again." The little amount of money they had was exhausted within couple of days. Out of modesty, they could not disclose their situation before anybody. After the money was gone, they had to depend on spinach, but after few days they could not get anything to eat. Out of hunger, Soyabara could not sleep that night, and at mid of the night they heard voices of peoples, and they knew the notorious persons of village are coming to take advantage of their plight. Soya started trembling in fear because she knew they would rape her. Both of them had no option but to pray Thakura. They fell on the ground before the foot of Thakura and prayed with tears to save them. Outside, the voices and sound of their feet almost reached their door. They panicked and cried before the foot of Thakura, saying, "Gurudeva, please keep your word, save us." Just then Thakura revealed himself in that room, and sitting on the ground near them said, "Have no fear. I have punished them and made them run for their lives." They clutched his feet and cried. Thakura assured them, saying, "They will never come again. Relax and sleep well. I will be guiding your house every night." He gave them some money, a gold ring, and said to them, "Tomorrow a boy will come to you and give the boy this money to purchase some food stuff and cooking materials." He made a line on the ground outside their house and uh, told them, "You must not cross this line. As long as you are within this line, nothing is going to happen to you. And some days after a person will arrive at your house with a letter with an identical gold ring. Without fear, you can accompany him and come to me." Saying this, he vanished. Next morning, a boy arrived asking them if he could help. He brought them enough food stuff with that money, and after many days, their chula stove in the kitchen was lighted with fire. They heard people discussing that on that night, when those notorious fellows tried to break open their door, a vicious looking dark woman came out with a dagger in hand and attacked those persons, and they fled with severe wounds on their bodies. Of course, no one has any idea who the woman was. Obviously, it was the ever alert Guru Shakti which manifested itself as the woman to save them. After few days, Thakura sent a sevaka with a letter to bring them to Matha. Saurabala had no idea about Thakura's handwriting, but when the sevaka produced the identical ring, they accompanied him to Matha. Thakura was discussing Vedanta with his disciples when Saya, along with the family, reached there. Sayawara had never seen Thakura in a person but could immediately recognize him, and she fell on the ground shedding tears of obligation. She narrated before all how Thakura had saved them and how he had eaten rice and spinach in their house. A pall of silence fell over the disciples, and Thakura cried like a little boy. Closing the book, he said to others, "Looking living Vedanta has arrived at our Matha." Thakura looked after their need and allowed them to stay at Matha for the rest of their lives. Thakura, while at Matha, displayed a unique type of bhava, outer, outward expression, making him easily and accessible to his devotees and followers. A radiation of divine light was coming out of his face and body. He was firmly established in Guru Bhava, discarding all other bhavas. He was seriously engaged in dispelling the worldly desires from the minds of his followers, attracting them towards him for spiritual development. After some years, Thakur went to visit the Kumbh Mela. On way to Kumbh, he decided to stay in Kashi for a while. There he remained at Gambhira, where his power was visibly changed. He looked terrific, but his divine look was gone in favor of an easy-going human being. He interacted with people and engaged them in conservation of various subjects, much like an easygoing human being. His Guru Bhava was concealed beneath such behavior. Those who were with him were utterly confused as they failed to understand the motive behind this change. As a sannyasi, he was supposed to maintain a distance from the women's community. Instead, he interacted with them without any reservation, and sometimes he behaved like a child among them. This type of behavior created suspicion among a small group of people who did not hesitate to criticize him in secrecy. A section of people who were unable to understand him criticized him, but another group took shelter under him without any consideration. He lived the life of a prince, and his attire was that of a wealthy, worldly person. Yet many women, those who had never spoken with anyone outside of the family, came to him and learned spiritual performances without hesitation. The highly successful spiritual persons, Jivanamukta, reveal their true self, and when they behave like ordinary people, it is called Sahaja Bhava. Such an elevated source does not guide his followers to into a single spiritual path. They could know the sacrament of each follower and guide them accordingly. Gurudev does not show their miraculous power before those who love him with total faith and guides them onto the path which is appropriate for them. Thakur, though veiled his true self and power, adopting an easygoing bhava, was established in supreme knowledge inwardly always. Only successful yogis can adopt this type of sahaja bhava. They will utilize their immense power to attract the eligible seekers onto the correct path. It isn't very easy for ordinary people to understand how it is done. Successful yogis do not depend on anyone for anything. Lord Krishna has stated through the Bhagavad Gita that yogis are superior to jnanis and other accomplished spiritual individuals. People who follow Gurudev benefit from the Sahaja Bhava of the Gurudev. Incarnation and Siddhas who when they want to develop someone spiritually must bring them under the shelter of Ishta. However, Sahaja Bhava Guru as a successful yogi does not need to do that. He without the knowledge of devotees attracts them and develops them spiritually. The devotees find him easily accessible and come to him without any reservation. They can't know him proper form or power. To benefit them, Gurudeva reveals his true form and power, but he reveals his true form before those who love him intensely. Unless otherwise, Gurudev wants someone to know him. No one has the power to come near him and take shelter under him. Thakur, being the Sarvabhauma Guru, never returns anyone as he does not consider eligibility factors. He, out of his sheer compassion, accepts those who come to him. As he was successful in all four margas, he was able to guide the disciples seeking any marga, and more so, he was able to teach Advaita, Dvaita, Visishtadvaita, and Dvaita Advaita without any hesitation. As he went through all these, he was able to teach and fulfill the needs of every disciple. He is the Sarvabhauma Guru, and it is the Sarvabhauma Bhava. For this, his disciples worship him as Guru and Ishta, and this trend continues even today. Although Tantra has a specific discipline, he has advised his followers to adopt an easy process to achieve success. He has categorically directed his disciples to make their objective to realize the supreme truth within themselves. He says, "You don't have to do much, just love me a little, and you would be able to reach your objective without any difficult spiritual practice." It shows his compassion towards his disciples and devotees. According to him, power is not to be obtained from an outside source, it is within you. One has to raise it from within. Pleasure is abundant within one's own self. One has to realize this and become submerged in it. When the mind discards all outward subjects and gets concentrated on the self, the part of cosmic energy present within the body rises quickly and attains upward movement. When Thakura speaks like this, one is sure to accept him as a yogi. If one studies the Tantric Guru book created by him, one will opine that he is the greatest tantric on earth. One who goes through Gyani Guru and listens to him speaking about Brahma's mono existence will surely say that he is Gyani Guru. When one loves him with intensity and goes through supernatural experiences, one is bound to say that he is the objective of love. His mission on earth is to usher in an era of harmony, harmony of all religious opinions. That is why Jagadguru pushed him through all four margas of Hinduism, where he became successful in a very short period. But inwardly, he was firmly established in Nirupadhi Bhava. Nirupadhi Bhava is where no name, no form, no shape, or no size is possible. Scriptures say it is Nirguna Brahma or Para Brahma. But to benefit the human race, to bestow salvation on beings, he adopts the bhava suitable for the purpose and for the seeker. It becomes possible due to his compassion and nothing else. His
Jai Guru.
contribution. Jai Guru.
Jai Guru Shubham Bhai. So we will have this Swadhyay for this for today. Grateful to you for the kind of Swadhyay Seva you have done today. You have covered many pages. Your speed was too fast, of course, understandable. So, but yes, had the speed been a little bit lower, it would have been better. Nevertheless, we pray Thakurji to bless you and be a good sevak. Grateful for your seva today. Jai Guru.
Jai Guru to all bhais and mas.
ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ ଜ୍ଞାନ ଭାଇ ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ ଆମର ଏଇ ଇଂରାଜୀ ପଢାର କିଛି କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଅଛି ଦେନ୍ ୱିଲ୍ ଗୋ ଟୁ ଦି କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଅଫ ୟେଷ୍ଟରଡେ ଭାଇ ସୋ ଦି ଫର୍ଷ୍ଟ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଇଜ ହାଉ ଯୋଗୀ ଇଜ ସୁପରିୟର ଦାନ ଜନନୀ
or Gyani ହେଇଥିବ
so I don't know.
It's probably Gyani.
Acha, how
Janani doesn't make any sense.
Gyani, yes. So I was also
if you truly kind of think through all that, I'm sure there is a line somewhere, I missed it, where it says yogis are better than Gyanis. So if you really truly understand, they are not. If you go by Thakur's saying in various places, Thakur would say that the Nirvikalpa Samadhi and actually achieving salvation, Nirguna Mukti, is only available through Jnana. Bhakti goes beyond that. Bhakti, when you get to Prema Bhakti, actually you have already achieved that Nirguna Mukti, and then you are just going beyond that and going to Nityaloka with the knowledge that you are free and you are nothing but Brahma, but you want to do seva. So that's that state. If you go to or read Nigama Tattva, it's pretty clearly written, one of those chapters, I don't remember which chapter, where Yoga ends, where Jnana ends, and stuff like that. But again, if you go to Bhagavad Gita takes a different stand, particularly if you look at chapter 6, Dhyana Yoga. Dhyana Yoga ends with Lord Krishna saying that tapasya adhiko yogi, jnana yogi, things like that, where it says tasmat yogi bhavarjuna is where it ends. So there he praises the yogis and says yogis are the ultimate. Then you go to 12th chapter, he will say the bhaktas are the best. So it's basically all the different categories that Lord Krishna is focusing on, says that they are the best. So I don't think you have to take them as one-off, that this is a yogi, this is a Gyani and all that. Thakur started with Jnana Marga, learned Hatha Yoga, and ended up with Nirvikalpa Samadhi, which is again Jnana Marga direction, but using his meditative power. So at some point, you integrate all these different ideas, and once you achieve that Nirgunatva or ultimate Mukti, I don't think any of this makes any difference. Anyone is bigger than or better than other.
By in this concluding chapter of today's Swadhyay, also this same thing has been mentioned about the Nirupadhi Bhava. So it's written like this: when you read the Tantric Guru or discuss Tantra with Thakur, you will think he is best in Tantra, and vice versa for all. Jnana, Yoga, and Prema. But he is beyond all these things, so he is having Nirupadi Bhava. This is how the chapter has been concluded. You rightly said, every path has got its own importance, and and whenever Bhagavan Krishna also described, he also described everything as best in that chapter. But the next
Right.
chapter, starting from zero, he is also making it realize that that is the best path. So that is
And ultimately he ends up saying Sarva Dharman Paritejo Mamekam Saranam Braja.
yes,
Because
yes,
if you surrender to me, which is Bhakti Marga,
yes.
that's a path of devotion. If you just surrender to me completely, then I'll take care of everything.
And Ramakrishna Dev also told Jete Matha, Chete Patha.
Yeah.
So all these things we can conclude. So let us not have a debate between who's best. And Thakurji has categorically told Samanvay Upadesh, and also another two line has been very important here: harmonics of religion, something like that, and how Thakurji has made all the religions harmonious. So this is also two lines have been read today also. So I think we should conclude in that way rather than doing this is good, that is good. I think
Right, exactly.
everybody should understand that. Now the second question is, what is the difference between Prema Bhakti and Prema Savataragati?
Prema Bhakti, once you achieve Prema Bhakti, ultimate end of that Prema Bhakti is Prema Savataragati. One is a name for a path to get to Nityaloka. Another is the basically the process. So when you say Prema Bhakti, somebody achieved Prema Bhakti, if you read Prema Guru, Thakur clearly says that is Nirguna. So you have to go beyond all the qualities, Sattva, Raja, Tama Guna. And beyond that is when your Prema Bhakti starts. There is another chapter in Prema Guru where he says how you start and slowly progress into Prema Bhakti, or Bhabo and Mahabhabo is a couple of words that Thakur uses. So Prema Savataragati is the word Thakur used to show that this is the way you get to Nityaloka. And you're not going to get to Nityaloka without going to Nirguna. You're not going to go to Nityaloka without having Prema Bhakti. That's the ultimate form of the Bhakti, which is Nirguna.
Again, I think Ninima, whatever she mentioned, I think it's not a question. I don't think it's a question. So how did this story does reflect the importance of empathy and understanding others' feelings? This is about that Sailawala story.
Right. So basically, we start with understanding others' feeling. If we can't put us in other person's shoe, we don't know how they're feeling. Empathy goes way beyond that. Empathy is kind of ultimate of that. So that Thakur has said, there's a nice song that Durachan Bhai wrote, Saburi madhyare tumari bikaso dekhibaku jenne pai. So we have to see that every soul that we see, Thakur is blossoming in them. Whether we like them or not, or whether we think they're, wise or not that wise, or good looking or not good looking, irrespective of that, Thakur is with everybody. Thakur is blossoming in everybody. Once we get that idea really steadfastly established in our heart, then we can really feel what they're feeling. And now we are talking about really getting closer to empathy.
Okay. So we'll move to the next step. I am requesting Ramesh Bhai to declare the result of yesterday's English questions and Odia questions. Jayaguru.
Yesterday, in 53rd season, total participant in English question and answer 54. Out of these, fastest 3 answer given by Jasaswini Mishra Ma, Jamshedpur Sangha, Riddhi Mahapatra Ma, Karnataka Sangha, and Bhagyadev Upadhyay Bhai, Baripada Sangha. Except this, who else answered right answer given by Sujismita Mishra Ma, Jamshedpur Sangha, Devadatt Upadhyay Bhai, Baripada Sangha, Sagarika Upadhyay Ma, Baripada Sangha, Banani Dema, Baleswar Sangha, Vidisha Ma, Hyderabad Sangha, Santosh Sahu Bhai, Delhi Sangha, Namrata Ma, हैदराबाद संघ, छबिराणी उपाध्याय माँ बारिपदा संघ, अतुल राज त्रिपाठी भाई बेरहम संघ बरहमपुर आई थिंक, पायल नंद माँ केंद्र सेवक संघ, गायत्री त्रिपाठी माँ बरहमपुर संघ, सपन कुमार गढ़ाई भाई बालेश्वर संघ, प्रियमंदा पति माँ मुंबई संघ, ममता रानी चांद माँ बालेश्वर संघ, पुनालता प्रधान माँ नरसिंहपुर, शांतिलता महांती माँ बालेश्वर, राजलक्ष्मी पात्रमा विक्रमपुर, कल्याणी माँ संबलपुर, धनंजय मिश्र भाई संबलपुर, शरद कुमारी आचार्य माँ जगतसिंहपुर, कल्याणी महांती माँ केंद्र सेवक संघ, ऋतुपर्णा सावत माँ बरहमपुर, ऋतिक रंजन सावत भाई बरहमपुर, अनुगुल भवानी पात्र माँ अनुगुल, सुभाषिनी मिश्र माँ ढेंकानाल संघ, अमरेश कुमार नंद भाई जोड़ा संघ, आयुष्मान मिश्र बरहमपुर संघ, सुभाषिनी शिवानंद स्वामी भाई केंद्रापड़ा संघ, सुधा पंडा माँ सतशिखा मंदिर और ज्योत्सना नायक माँ बालेश्वर संघ, and in ओडिया लीला प्रसंग और संघ सेवक टोटल 48 जन अंशग्रहण करते भितर संतोष साहू भाई दिल्ली संघ, बनानी देमा बालेश्वर संघ और पुनालता प्रधान माँ नरसिंहपुर संघ एमाने फास्टेस्ट सठिक उत्तर देते एमान सहित अन्य जो मैंने सठिक उत्तर देते से पायल नंद माँ केंद्र सेवक संघ, जशस्विनी मिश्र माँ जामशेदपुर संघ, ममता रानी चांद माँ बालेश्वर संघ, रिद्धि माँ कर्नाटक संघ, सपन कुमारी गढ़ाई भाई बालेश्वर संघ, ऋतिक रंजन सावत भाई बरहमपुर संघ, विघ्नराज त्रिपाठी भाई कोलकाता संघ, सुभाषिनी मिश्र माँ ढेंकानाल संघ, गायत्री त्रिपाठी माँ बरहमपुर संघ, अजय कुमार मिश्र भाई दिल्ली संघ, राजलक्ष्मी पात्र माँ विक्रमपुर, धनंजय मिश्र भाई संबलपुर, रामलक्ष्मी राव माँ बुर्ला, ब्रजकिशोर बेहरा भाई दिल्ली, शांतिलता महंती माँ बालेश्वर, भवानी पात्र माँ अनुगुल, शरद कुमारी आचार्य माँ जगतसिंहपुर, लोपामुद्रा पात्र माँ सतशिखा मंदिर महिला संघ, हरिहर भाई नरसिंहपुर, कल्याणी महांती माँ केंद्र सेवक संघ, सुधा पंडा माँ सतशिखा मंदिर, रामलक्ष्मी राव माँ बुर्ला और ज्योत्सना नायक माँ बालेश्वर संघ। जय गुरु।
जय गुरु। 253तम अधिवेशन इंग्राजी प्रश्न उत्तर भाग नहीं 54 जन और ओडिया प्रश्न उत्तर भाग नहीं 52 जन समस्त श्री श्री ठाकुर पाखे प्रार्थना ठाकुर आपण मान आशीर्वाद करंतु आपण माने सेवक सेविका भाग में निजक गढ़ी तोलंतु। We have given the QR code where you are getting the questions from today's Swadhyay. Kindly go through it and quickly answer them so that you will get blessings from Thakurji. Tomorrow will announce whoever has given the correct answer of all the questions, and of course, whoever have attended first test compared to all of you. आमे वर्तमान परवर्ती पर्याय को जीवा। आम गहण अच्छा शांतिलता महांती माँ, जयगुरु माँ, माँ बालेश्वर शाखा संघरू माँ आज लीला प्रसंग स्वाध्याय करेंगे। माँ जयगुरु स्वाध्याय आरंभ कर। शांतिलता महांती माँ।
जय गुरु भाई जय गुरु।
जय गुरु माँ।
सुबुच भाई
आज्ञा पढ़ंतु।
जय गुरु। प्राणर ठाकुर एवं निगम परिवार समस्त माँ भाई मानू मोर जय गुरु प्रणाम। विश्वास दंपति सेवारे संतुष्ट सद्गुरु सेमानक निकटरे निजर जीवन कथा निश्चय विस्तारित करथिले। सेतिबाई 1316 साल रे आर्य दर्पण रे से जगेश्वर विश्वास को देई सर्वप्रथम श्री श्री ठाकुर जीवन कथा प्रकाशर व्यवस्था करा जाए। तांकर अप्राकृतिक जीवन इतिहास शुणी विश्वास दंपति मथा लोटी पड़े श्री गुरुदेव श्री पाद पद्म दुई जन मिनती करती सन्यासी देई आमको आपणार सेवारे नियुक्ति करंतु जीवन धन्य हेउ आमर। श्री श्री ठाकुर कहले ନା ସେ ସମୟ ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ହୋଇନାହିଁ। ତୁମେ ସୁଯୋଗ ଦେଖି ତୀର୍ଥ ଭ୍ରମଣ କର। ପୁଣ୍ୟଭୂମି ଭାରତର ନାନା ତୀର୍ଥ ଭ୍ରମଣ କରି କର୍ମକ୍ଷୟ ଓ ଚିତ୍ତଶୁଦ୍ଧି ସାଧନା କର। ଯଥା ସମୟରେ ସନ୍ନ୍ୟାସୀ କଥା ବିଚାର କରାଯିବ। ସନ୍ନ୍ୟାସ ନେଲେ ଯେ କିଛି ଗୋଟାଏ ହୋଇଯାଏ ତାହା ନୁହେଁ। ଅସଲ କଥା ହେଲା ଭକ୍ତି ଓ ବିଶ୍ୱାସ। ତାହା ତ ତୁମମାନଙ୍କର ଅଛି। ମୁଁ କହୁଛି ମୋ ଠାରେ ବିଭକ୍ତି ବିଶ୍ୱାସ ଥିଲେ ହିଁ ମୁକ୍ତି ତୁମର କରତଳଗତ। ସଦ୍ଗୁରୁଙ୍କ ସହିତ ଏହି ଚୁକ୍ତି କରି ତେବେ ଯାଇ ମୁଁ ଗୁରୁଗିରିର ଭାର ଗ୍ରହଣ କରିଛି। ଗାରୋଇଲିର ଲୌକିକ ଦର୍ଶନ ଶୁଣି ଅଭିଭୂତ ହୋଇଯାଆନ୍ତି ଶସ୍ତ୍ରୀକ ଯୋଗେଶ୍ୱର ବାବୁ। ପରମାନନ୍ଦରେ ଗୁରୁ ସେବା କରନ୍ତି, ଆଉ ସଦାଳପରେ ଦିନ କଟିଯାଏ। ଏତ୍ୟବସରରେ ସମ୍ବାଦ ଆସିଲା, ଯୋଗୀଗୁରୁର ଶେଷାଂଶ ପ୍ରେସରେ ଦାଖଲ କରିବାକୁ ହେବ। ଶେଷ ପ୍ରୁଫ୍ ଦେଖି ଛପାଇବା ପାଇଁ ଅର୍ଡର ଦେଲେ ହୋଇଗଲା। ସେମାନେ ପ୍ରୁଫ୍ ଗୁଆହାଟୀକୁ ପଠାଉଛନ୍ତି। ପ୍ରୁଫ୍ ଆସିବା ପରେ ଶ୍ରୀଶ୍ରୀ ତାହା ପରିମାର୍ଜିତ କରି କଲିକତାକୁ ପଠାଇ ଦେଲେ ମଧ୍ୟ ସେଠାକୁ ଯିବା ପାଇଁ ଆୟୋଜନ କଲେ। ନିଜେ ସମସ୍ତ ତଦାରଖ କରି ଉତ୍ସର୍ଗ ପତ୍ର ଓ ଭୂମିକା ସହ ବହିଟି ପ୍ରକାଶ କରି ବିକ୍ରି ହେବାର ବ୍ୟବସ୍ଥା କରିବେ। ଉତ୍ସର୍ଗ ପତ୍ର ଓ ଭୂମିକାର ପ୍ରେସ୍ କପି ଉମାଚରଣ ସରକାର ମହାଶୟଙ୍କ ଗୃହରେ ରହିଥିବା ସମୟରେ ହିଁ ପ୍ରସ୍ତୁତ କରିଥିଲେ। କେବଳ ତାହାର ଶେଷରେ ନୂତନ ଭାବର ସଂଯୋଗ କଲେ ଉପନାମ ସ୍ୱାମୀ ନିଗମାନନ୍ଦ ପରମହଂସ ପରିବ୍ରାଜକ। ବଙ୍ଗଳା ଦୈନିକ ବସୁମତୀ ସେତେବେଳେ ବହୁଳ ପ୍ରଚାରିତ ପତ୍ରିକା। ବୋଧହୁଏ ସେଥିରେ ଯୋଗୀଗୁରୁର ବିଜ୍ଞାପନ ପ୍ରକାଶିତ ହୋଇଥିଲା। ଶ୍ରୀ ଶ୍ରୀ ଠାକୁର କିନ୍ତୁ ହ୍ୟାଣ୍ଡବିଲ୍ ମଧ୍ୟ ଗ୍ରାମାନ୍ତରରେ ବିତରଣ କରିବା ଉଦ୍ଦେଶ୍ୟରେ ପ୍ରକାଶ କରିଥିଲେ। ଏହା ସେ ସମୟରେ ରୀତି ଥିଲା। ପରିଚିତ ଜଣେ ଲୋକକୁ 10 ଖଣ୍ଡ ପଠାଇ ଦେଲେ ସେ ଅନ୍ୟ 10 ଜଣଙ୍କ ମଧ୍ୟରେ ତାହା ବାଣ୍ଟି ଦେଉଥିଲେ। ଏହି ଭାବରେ ନୂତନ ବହିର ସମ୍ବାଦ ଚାରିଆଡେ ପ୍ରଚାରିତ ହୋଇଯାଉଥିଲା। କିଛି ବହି କଲିକତାରେ ଗଚ୍ଛିତ ରଖିବା ଦରକାର, କାହାକୁ ଦିଆଯାଇ ପାରିବ। ଶ୍ରୀ ଶ୍ରୀ ଠାକୁର ନିର୍ବାଚନ କଲେ ପ୍ରଖ୍ୟାତ ଭାରତବର୍ଷ ପତ୍ରିକା ସହିତ ସମ୍ପୃକ୍ତ କଲିକତାର ପ୍ରସିଦ୍ଧ ଗୁରୁଦାସ ଚଟ୍ଟୋପାଧ୍ୟାୟ ଏଣ୍ଡ ସନ୍ସ ପୁସ୍ତକାଳୟରେ ବଜାରରେ ତାଙ୍କର ବହି ବିକ୍ରି ଉଲ୍ଲେଖନୀୟ। ଲେଖକଙ୍କର ନାମ ଶୁଣି ସ୍ୱୟଂ ଗୁରୁଦାସ ବାବୁ ତାଙ୍କୁ ଚିହ୍ନି ପାରିଲେ। ଲେଖକଙ୍କର ସୁଧାଂଶୁବାଳା, ଚାରୁବାଳା, ତରଣୀ ସେନ ବଧ ବଜାରରେ ଖୁବ୍ ନାଁ କରିଥିଲା। ଅବଶ୍ୟ ନୂତନ ଲେଖକ ହିସାବରେ ଯେପରି ନାଁ ହେବା କଥା ସେହିପରି। ଏଥରର ବହି ଖଣ୍ଡିକ କିପରି ଭାବି କୌତୂହଳୀ ହୋଇ ଓଲଟେଇ ଦେଖି କହିଲେ, ମହାଶୟ, ଏହି ବହି କ'ଣ ବଜାରରେ କଟିବ? ନାଟକ, ନଭେଲ ପ୍ଲାବିତ ଦେଶର ଉଦାସୀନର ଗାନ କିଏ ଶୁଣିବ? ତରୁଣ ସାଧୁଙ୍କର ଗେରୁଆ ପରିହିତ ଉଜ୍ଜଳ ମୂର୍ତ୍ତି ଦେଖି ତାଙ୍କର ଅଶ୍ରଦ୍ଧା ହୋଇ ନଥିଲା, ବରଂ ସସ୍ନେହରେ ଶ୍ରଦ୍ଧାଭାବ ଜାଗିଥିଲା ବୋଲି ସତ୍ ପରାମର୍ଶ ଦେବାକୁ ଚାହିଁଥିଲେ। ତାଙ୍କର ଅନାଗ୍ରହ ଦେଖି ଶ୍ରୀ ଶ୍ରୀ ଠାକୁର ମାତ୍ର 200 ଖଣ୍ଡ ଯୋଗୀଗୁରୁ ବହି ତାଙ୍କ ନିକଟରେ ରଖି ବାକି ବହିଗୁଡ଼ିକ ମାଲଗାଡ଼ିରେ ମନମୋହନ ସିଂ ବୁକ୍ କରିଦେଲେ। ସେଠାରୁ ନେବା ବ୍ୟବସ୍ଥା ତହସିଲଦାର ବାବୁଙ୍କର ହିଁ କରିବେ। ଚିଠିପତ୍ର ଦ୍ୱାରା ତାହା ସ୍ଥିର ହୋଇଯାଇଥାଏ। କଲିକତାର କାମ ଶେଷ କରି ନିଜେ ବେଣୁଆର ଯାତ୍ରା କଲେ। ଉମାଚରଣ ବାବୁ ସନିର୍ବନ୍ଧ ଅନୁରୋଧ ଜଣାଇଛନ୍ତି, ସିଧା ଆମର ଏଠାକୁ ଚାଲି ଆସନ୍ତୁ। ତହସିଲଦାର ବାବୁ ନିଜେ ଜାମାଲପୁର ଆସିଥିଲେ ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ନେଇଯିବା ପାଇଁ। ଯଦି ଠାକୁରଙ୍କୁ ମଝି ବାଟରୁ ଆଉ କେହି ନେଇଯାଆନ୍ତି, ସେହି ଭୟ ତାଙ୍କର ଥିଲା। ଅକ୍ଷୟ ଚନ୍ଦ୍ର ସରକାର ନାମରେ ସେଠାରେ ତାଙ୍କର ଜଣେ ପରିଚିତ ଭଦ୍ରଲୋକ ଥିଲେ। ନାନା କାର୍ଯ୍ୟରେ ତହସିଲଦାର ବାବୁଙ୍କୁ ପ୍ରାୟ ଜାମାଲପୁର ଆସିବାକୁ ହୁଏ। ସେହି ସୂତ୍ରରେ ଅକ୍ଷୟ ବାବୁଙ୍କ ସହିତ ତାଙ୍କର ପରିଚୟ। ଶ୍ରୀ ନିଗମାନନ୍ଦଙ୍କ ଦେବଙ୍କ କଥା ଶୁଣି ଅକ୍ଷୟ ବାବୁ ତାଙ୍କୁ ଦେଖିବା ପାଇଁ ପାଗଳ। ଆଉ ଦେଖିଲେ ଯେ ଆହୁରି ମୁଣ୍ଡ ଖରାପ ହେବ, ସେ କଥା ବୁଝିପାରିବା ସ୍ୱୟଂ ଉମାଚରଣ ଷ୍ଟେସନରେ ହିଁ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କର ସଙ୍ଗ ଧରିଲେ। ଅକ୍ଷୟ ବାବୁଙ୍କ ବସାରେ ଦିନେ 2 ଦିନ ରହିବା ହେଲା। ସାଧୁଙ୍କର ବିଗ୍ରହ ଦେଖି ତ ଅକ୍ଷୟ ବାବୁଙ୍କ ଶ୍ରଦ୍ଧାର ସୀମା ରହିଲା ନାହିଁ। କଥା ଶୁଣି ସେ ଆଉ ଛାଡ଼ିବାକୁ ଚାହିଁଲେ ନାହିଁ। ତାଙ୍କ ଠାରୁ ଦୀକ୍ଷା ନେବା ପାଇଁ ଅଡ଼ି ବସିଲେ। ସରକାର ମହାଶୟ କହିଲେ, ସେ ଦୀକ୍ଷା ଦିଅନ୍ତି ନାହିଁ। ତାହାହେଲେ କ'ଣ ମୁଁ ଛାଡ଼ିଥାନ୍ତି ଭାବୁଛନ୍ତି? ସଦୟ କଣ୍ଠରେ ଶ୍ରୀ ନିଗମାନନ୍ଦ କହିଲେ, ସମୟ ହେଲେ ବ୍ୟବସ୍ଥା ହେବ ଅକ୍ଷୟ ବାବୁ। ବ୍ୟସ୍ତ ହୁଅନ୍ତୁ ନାହିଁ, ମୁଁ କିଛି ଦିନ ବିଶ୍ରାମ କରିନିଏ, ତାହାପରେ ଦେଖାଯିବ ଭଗବାନଙ୍କର କଣ ଇଚ୍ଛା। ହଁ ବାବା, ସେହି ପୌଷ ମାସରୁ ବୁଲୁଛନ୍ତି। ଏବେ କିଛି ଦିନ ଆମର ସେଠାରେ ଚୁପ ହୋଇ ନ ବସିଲେ ହୁଏ। ଶରୀର ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଖରାପ ହୋଇଗଲାଣି ବାବା। ହେମ ଦେଖିଲେ ଖୁବ ମନ କଷ୍ଟ କରିବ। କଲିକତାର ହଇଚଇ ହଟ୍ଟଗୋଳରୁ ପଲ୍ଲୀର ଶାନ୍ତ ପରିବେଶକୁ ଆସି ଚିତ୍ତ ପ୍ରଫୁଲ୍ଲ ହୁଏ ପରିବ୍ରାଜକଙ୍କର। ଶ୍ରୀ ଶ୍ରୀ ଠାକୁର ବେଣୁଆଚରକୁ ଫେରିବା ପରେ କେବଳ ତହସିଲଦାର ବାବୁଙ୍କ ଗୃହରେ ନୁହେଁ, ଚାରିଆଡେ ଚହଳ ପଡିଗଲା। ଆସିଛନ୍ତି ସେଇ ସାଧୁ ବାବା, ପୁଣି ଫେରି ଆସିଛନ୍ତି ନାଏବ ବାବୁଙ୍କ ଘରକୁ। ଝଗଡାଚରରୁ ଦୌଡ଼ି ଆସିଲେ ସଦଳ ବଳ ନିତ୍ୟାନନ୍ଦ। ଈଶାନଶୀଳଙ୍କ ସଙ୍ଗରେ ଧରି କୋଦାଳ ଧୁଆରୁ ଧାଇଁ ଆସିଲେ ସୀତାରାମ, ମଦନ ପ୍ରଭୃତି। କାହିଁ ଆମ ଛୋଟ ଠାକୁର, ପାଗଳ ଠାକୁର ଆନନ୍ଦମୟ ମୂର୍ତ୍ତିରେ ତରୁଣ ସାଧୁ ସମ୍ଭାଷଣ କରନ୍ତି ପ୍ରତ୍ୟେକଙ୍କୁ। ତାଙ୍କ ନିକଟରେ ଧନୀ ଦରିଦ୍ର ଭେଦ ନାହିଁ, ବରଂ ଅନ୍ତରର ସତରେ କାଙ୍ଗାଳ ମାନଙ୍କର ଠାକୁର ସେ। ତହସିଲଦାର ବାବୁଙ୍କର ଝଗଡାଚରର ଅଧିବାସୀ ଆଉ ବଣୁଆ ହାଜଙ୍ଗ ମାନେ ଯେ ତାଙ୍କର ବେଶୀ ପ୍ରିୟ, ତାଙ୍କ ବ୍ୟବହାରରେ ତାହା ସମସ୍ତେ ବୁଝିପାରିଥିଲେ। କିଛି ଦିନ ଭିତରେ ମୁଁ ଗାରହିଲ ଯିବି, ସେତେବେଳେ ତୁମର ସେଠାରେ ଦିନେ 2 ଦିନ ରହିବି ନିତ୍ୟାନନ୍ଦ। ଏକଥା ଶୁଣି ମଦକ ମହାଶୟଙ୍କର ଆଖି ସଜଳ ହୋଇ ଉଠେ। ତାଙ୍କର ପଡୋଶୀ ମାନେ କହନ୍ତି, ହଁ ବାବା, ତେବେ ଆମକୁ ଭୁଲି ନାହଁ? ଗରିବ ଦୁଃଖୀ ମାନଙ୍କୁ ମନେ ଅଛି? ଶୁଣିଲୁ କିଏ ଜଣେ ଜଜ ନା ମ୍ୟାଜିଷ୍ଟ୍ରେଟଙ୍କ ବସାରେ ରହିଛନ୍ତି ବୋଲି ଆମେ ତ ଭାବିଥିଲୁ, ଆଉ ବୋଧ ହୁଏ ଏ ଦିଗରେ ପାଦ ଧୂଳି ପଡିବ ନାହିଁ। ତହସିଲଦାର ସସମ୍ଭ୍ରରେ କହିଲେ, ତୁମେ ମାନେ କଣ ଏକା? ମୁଁ ନିଜେ ତ ଘରେ କହିଛି, ସରକାରୀ ଉଚ୍ଚ ପଦାଧିକାରୀ ଯୋଗେଶ୍ୱର ବିଶ୍ୱାସଙ୍କର ଯେ ଅତିଥି, ସେ କଣ ଏଇ ଗରିବ ଘରକୁ ଆଉ ଆସିବେ? ବିଶ୍ୱାସ ବାବୁ ବହୁ ଦିନ ଧରି ଏପଟ ମ୍ୟାଜିଷ୍ଟ୍ରେଟ ଥିଲେ, ମୁଁ ତାଙ୍କୁ ଚିହ୍ନେ। ଠାକୁର ନିଗମାନନ୍ଦ ସ୍ମିତ ମୁଖରେ କହିଲେ, ମୁଁ ହେଲି ଗାଁର ପିଲା, ସହରର ଆଦାର କାଇଦା କୌଣସି ଦିନ ଶିଖି ନାହିଁ। ତାହାପରେ 22-23 ବର୍ଷ ବୟସରେ ଘର ଛାଡି ବାହାରକୁ ଆସିଛି। ସାଧୁ ସମାଜ ଆଖଡାରେ ବୁଲି ସମାଜ ସଂସାର ଭୁଲି ଯାଇଛି। ମୁଁ କଣ ସେହି ସରକାରୀ ଅଫିସରଙ୍କ ଘରେ ରହିବାର ମଣିଷ? ଝଗଡାଚାରରେ ଯେ ମୁଁ ମୁଢି ମାଗି ଦଳେ ପିଲାଙ୍କ ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ବାଣ୍ଟି କରି ଖାଉଥିଲି, ସେହି ହେଲା ମୋର ସ୍ୱଭାବ। ତହସିଲଦାର ବାବୁ, ତୁମର ଆଦର ଯତ୍ନ ମଧ୍ୟ ମୋର ବେଶୀ ସହ୍ୟ ହୁଏ ନାହିଁ। ଘରକୁ ଆସିବା ପରେ ସସ୍ତ୍ରୀକ ଉମାଚରଣ ବାବୁ ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ କରି ତାଙ୍କ ନିକଟରେ କୁମ୍ଭମେଳାର ବିବରଣୀ ଶୁଣି ନେଉଛନ୍ତି। ତହସିଲଦାର ବାବୁ ବୁଝିଥିଲେ ଯେ କିଛି ଗୋଟାଏ ନୂତନ ବ୍ୟାପାର ହୋଇଛି। ପରମହଂସ ତ ଲାଭ କଥା ଶୁଣି ଠାକୁରଙ୍କର ଆପଣ ସମ୍ବୋଧନକୁ ବାଧା ଦେଇଛନ୍ତି ସରକାର ବାବୁ। ପାଦରେ ହାତ ଦେଇ କହିଛନ୍ତି, ଅପରାଧୀ କରନ୍ତୁ ନାହିଁ ବାବା। ଆପଣ ହେଲେ ପରମହଂସ ସନ୍ନ୍ୟାସୀ, ଆଉ ମୁଁ ଗୋଟିଏ ଘର ବିଷୟୀ। ଏବେଠାରୁ ତୁମେ କୁହନ୍ତୁ। ତାହା ହେବ। ସମ୍ମତି ପ୍ରକାଶ କରି ଅନୁପୂର୍ବକ ସ୍ୱାମୀ ସଚିଦାନନ୍ଦଙ୍କର ଗଳ୍ପଟା ଠାକୁର ସେମାନଙ୍କୁ ଶୁଣାଇଲେ। ପରମହଂସର ଉପସଂହାରରେ କହିଲେ, ମୋର ଖୁବ ଇଚ୍ଛା ଥିଲା ତାଙ୍କୁ ତୁମ ପାଖକୁ ଆଣିବାକୁ, କିନ୍ତୁ ହେଲା ନାହିଁ। କୌଣସି ମତେ ସେ ଆଉ ବଙ୍ଗଳାରେ ରହିବାକୁ ରାଜି ହେଲେ ନାହିଁ। ହେମଲତା କହିଲେ, ରାଜି ନହେଲେ ନ ହୁଅନ୍ତୁ, ସେ ଆମର ଚିର ପ୍ରଣମ୍ୟ। ଆମେ ମନ ପ୍ରାଣରେ ଯାହା ଚାହିଁଥିଲୁ ସେ ତାହା ପୂରଣ କରିଛନ୍ତି। ଏଥର ତ ଆପଣ ଆମକୁ ଦୀକ୍ଷା ଦେବେ। ସେ ନିଜେ ତ ସମ୍ମୁଖରେ ରହି ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଦ୍ୱାରା ବିଶ୍ୱାସ ଦମ୍ପତିକୁ ଦୀକ୍ଷିତ କରିଛନ୍ତି। ଉଲ୍ଲସିତ ହୋଇ ତହସିଲଦାର କହିଲେ, ହଁ ବାବା, ସେ ଠିକ କଥା କହିଛି। ଆଉ ଆପତ୍ତି ଶୁଣିବୁ ନାହିଁ। କୁହନ୍ତୁ କେବେ ଦୀକ୍ଷା ଦେବେ? ଏହାପରେ ଶ୍ରୀ ଶ୍ରୀ ଠାକୁର ଆଉ କୌଣସି ଆପତ୍ତି କଲେ ନାହିଁ। ଶୁଭ ଦିନ ଦେଖି ସସ୍ତ୍ରୀକ ଦୀକ୍ଷା ଦେବାର ଆୟୋଜନରେ ଲାଗି ପଡିଲେ ତହସିଲଦାର ବାବୁ। ଅନ୍ୟ ଦିଗରେ ତାଙ୍କର ପାଇକ ପିଆଦା ମାନେ ଗ୍ରାମାନ୍ତରେ ଯୋଗୀଗୁରୁ ଓ ହ୍ୟାଣ୍ଡବିଲ୍ ବିତରଣ କରିବାକୁ ଲାଗିଲେ। 1-2 ଜଣ କ୍ରେତା ମଧ୍ୟ
ଜୟଗୁରୁ।
ଜୁଟିଗଲେ। ସେହି संगे
जय
संगे घटिला आउ गोटिए अलख घटना। जय गुरु।
मैं पढ़ुता बड़ भाई टिके आप देखिए मु गोटे फोन कॉल रे अच्छी टिके देखिए।
जय गुरु। बेणातरे आखपाख ग्राम गुड़िक सेथर अनावृष्टि
ମା
लगी
ଏଇଠି
रही थाए।
ରଖନ୍ତୁ। ଜୟଗୁରୁ ମା ଜୟଗୁରୁ ମା ସମୟ
ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ।
ହେଇଗଲାଣି
ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ।
25 ହେଇଗଲାଣି ଆଉ 5 ମିନିଟରେ ସଂଘ ସେବ ସରିବ। ବଳ ଭାଇ ପ୍ଲିଜ।
ହଁ ଆଜ୍ଞା ଆଜ୍ଞା ସଂଘ ସେବକ
भाई जय गुरु।
ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ।
जय गुरु भाई जहाँ त्रुटि थी क्षमा देवे।
ଖୁବ ସୁନ୍ଦର ଶ୍ରଦ୍ଧା ସେବା ମା। ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ। ଠାକୁର ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଏବଂ ପରିବାର ବର୍ଗ ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ ଆଶୀର୍ବାଦ କରନ୍ତୁ। ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ ମା। ସଂଘ ସେବକ ଶ୍ରଦ୍ଧା ସେବା ପାଇଁକା ଆମ ସହିତ ଆଜି ଖୁଣ୍ଟୁଣି ଶାଖା ସଂଘରୁ ଲକ୍ଷ୍ମଣ ଭାଇ ଆମ ସହିତ ଅଛନ୍ତି। ଶ୍ରଦ୍ଧା ଲକ୍ଷ୍ମଣ ଭାଇଙ୍କୁ ଅନୁରୋଧ ଭାଇ ଆପଣ ଆଉ ବିଳମ୍ବ ନ କରି ଶ୍ରଦ୍ଧା ସେବା ଆରମ୍ଭ କରନ୍ତୁ। ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ ଭାଇ।
ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ। ଶ୍ରୀ ଶ୍ରୀ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କର ଶ୍ରୀ ଚରଣରେ ଅନନ୍ତ କୋଟି ପ୍ରଣାମ। ମାୟା ଭାଇମାନଙ୍କୁ ମୋର ସପ୍ରେମ ଜୟଗୁରୁ ଅଭିନନ୍ଦନ। ସ୍ୱାଧ୍ୟାୟ ସଂଘ ସେବକ ଚତୁର୍ଥ ସଂଖ୍ୟା ପରଶୁରାମଙ୍କର ଗୁରୁ ଅବଜ୍ଞା ଜନିତ ଫଳ 122 ପୃଷ୍ଠା। ଏହା ଦେଖି ପାର୍ବତୀ ଦେବୀ ମନେ ମନେ ଅତି କ୍ରୋଧାନ୍ୱିତା ହୋଇ ପରଶୁରାମଙ୍କୁ ଗୁରୁ ଅବଜ୍ଞା ଜନିତ ଯେଉଁ ଶାସ୍ତି ପ୍ରଦାନ କଲେ ମହର୍ଷି ବ୍ୟାସଦେବ ତାହାର ଚିତ୍ର ପ୍ରଦାନ କରିଛନ୍ତି। ପାର୍ବତୀ କହିଲେ, ହେ ପରଶୁରାମ, ତୁମେ ବ୍ରାହ୍ମଣ ବଂଶୋତ୍ପନ୍ନ ଓ ସୁପଣ୍ଡିତ ଋଷି ଯମଦଗ୍ନିଙ୍କର ପୁତ୍ର, ଯୋଗୀଗୁରୁ ମହାଦେବଙ୍କର ପ୍ରଧାନ ଶିଷ୍ୟ, ପତିବ୍ରତା ରେଣୁକା ତୁମର ଜନନୀ, ମାତାମହ ପରମ ବୈଷ୍ଣବ। ତୁମେ ମନୁବଂଶ ସମ୍ଭୂତ ରେଣୁକ ରାଜାଙ୍କର ଦୌହିତ୍ର ଏବଂ ସାଧୁ ବିକ୍ରମଶାଳୀ ରାଜା ବିଷ୍ଣୁଯଶା ତୁମର ମାତୁଳ। କିନ୍ତୁ ତୁମେ କାହା ଦୋଷରୁ ଏଇଭଳି ଦୁର୍ଦ୍ଦଶ ଓ ଉଦ୍ଧତ ପ୍ରକୃତି ବିଶିଷ୍ଟ ହୋଇଅଛ? ତୁମେ କରୁଣାମୟ ଗୁରୁଦେବ ମହେଶ୍ୱରଙ୍କ ନିକଟରୁ ଅସ୍ତ୍ରବିଦ୍ୟା ଲାଭ କରି ଅବ୍ୟର୍ଥ ପରଶୁ ପ୍ରାପ୍ତିରେ ଗର୍ବିତ ହୋଇ କ୍ଷତ୍ରିୟମାନଙ୍କ ନିକଟରେ ସେହି ଅସ୍ତ୍ରଭ ପରୀକ୍ଷା କରିବା ପରେ ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ସେହି ଶକ୍ତିକୁ ଗୁରୁପୁତ୍ରଙ୍କ ଠାରେ ପରୀକ୍ଷା କଲ। ସିଦ୍ଧିଲାଭ ପରେ ଗୁରୁଙ୍କୁ ଦକ୍ଷିଣା ଦେବାର ବିଧି ଅଛି। ତୁମେ ଗୁରୁପୁତ୍ରଙ୍କର ଦାନ୍ତ ଭଗ୍ନ କରି ଉପଯୁକ୍ତ ଦକ୍ଷିଣା ପ୍ରଦାନ କରିଅଛ। ତୁମେ ଯେ ଗୁରୁପୁତ୍ରଙ୍କୁ ପରାଜୟ କରି ଆମ ସମ୍ମୁଖରେ ଅବସ୍ଥାନ କରୁଅଛ, ସେହି ହେତୁ ତୁମେ ସମସ୍ତ ଗୁଣର ଆଧାର ହେଲେ ମଧ୍ୟ ତ୍ରିଜଗତରେ ପୂଜିତ ହୋଇପାରିବ ନାହିଁ। ପରଶୁ ଅସ୍ତ୍ର ଓ ମହାଦେବଙ୍କର ବର ପ୍ରଭାବରୁ ଶୃଗାଳ ମଧ୍ୟ ସିଂହକୁ ବିନାଶ କରିପାରେ। ଗଣେଶ ତୁମ ଭଳି ଲକ୍ଷ ବ୍ୟକ୍ତିଙ୍କୁ ବିନାଶ କରିପାରିବା ଭଳି ଶକ୍ତି ଧାରଣ କରିଥିଲେ ମଧ୍ୟ ସେ ଜିତେନ୍ଦ୍ରିୟ ମାନଙ୍କର ଅଗ୍ରଗଣ୍ୟ ବୋଲି ସାମାନ୍ୟ ମକ୍ଷିକା ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ବିନାଶ କରେ ନାହିଁ। ଏହି ଗଣେଶ କୃଷ୍ଣଙ୍କର ଅଂଶ ସମ୍ଭୂତ ଏବଂ ତେଜରେ ଶ୍ରୀକୃଷ୍ଣଙ୍କର ସମାନ ବୋଲି ସର୍ବତ୍ର ଅଗ୍ରପୂଜ୍ୟ। ମୁଁ ଏହି ପୁତ୍ରକୁ ଅତି କଠୋର ତପସ୍ୟା ବଳରେ ପ୍ରାପ୍ତ ହୋଇଅଛି। ଏହା କହୁ କହୁ ପାର୍ବତୀ ଦେବୀ କ୍ରୋଧାବିଷ୍ଟ ହୋଇ ପରଶୁରାମଙ୍କୁ ଆଘାତ କରିବାକୁ ଉଦ୍ୟତ ହେଲେ। ପାର୍ବତୀ ଉପାଚ, ଅୟେ ରାମ ମହାଭାଗ, ବ୍ରହ୍ମ ବଂଶୋऽସି ପଣ୍ଡିତଃ, ପୁତ୍ରୋ ଅସି ଯମଦଗ୍ନେଶ୍ଚ, ଶିଶୁ ଅସ୍ୟ ଯୋଗିନାଂ ଗୁରୋଃ, ମାତା ତେ ରେଣୁକା ସାଧ୍ୱୀ, ପଦ୍ମାଂସା ସତ୍କୁଳୋଦ୍ଭବ, ମାତାମହଃ ବୈଷ୍ଣବଶ୍ଚ, ମାତୁଳଶ୍ଚ ତତୋऽଧିକଃ। ତ୍ୱଞ୍ଚ ରେଣୁକ ଭୂପस्य ମନୁବଂଶୋଦ୍ଭବस्य च, ଦୈହିତ୍ରୋ ମାତୁଳଃ ସାଧୁଃ, ସୁରौ ବିଷ୍ଣୁ ଯଶା ନୃପ, କସ୍ୟ ଦୋଷେଣ ଦୁର୍ଦର୍ଶ, ସ୍ତୁନଂ ଜାନେୟାଥା ସୁଧତଃ, ଯେଷାଂ ଦୋଷୈର୍ଜନୋ ଦୁଷ୍ଟস্তବତେ शुद्धमानसाः, अमोघं प्राप्य परशुञ्च गुरुञ्च करुणानिधिं, परीक्षां क्षत्रिये कृत्वा बभूवास्य सुते पुनः, गुरवे दक्षिणां दातुम् उचितञ्च श्रुतौ श्रुतं, भग्नो दन्तं सुतस्य छेदयस्व च मस्तकं, गणेश्वरं रणे जित्वा स्थितश्चेदा वयोः पुरा, मां त्वं लब्ध्वा शिशु भूत्वा पूजितो भुजगत्रयो। ପାର୍ବତୀ କହିଲେ, ହେ ପରଶୁରାମ, ତୁମେ ସର୍ବବିଧ ଗୁଣର ଆକର ହେଲେ ମଧ୍ୟ ଗୁରୁଦତ୍ତ ଶକ୍ତି ପ୍ରଭାବରେ ସେହି ଗୁରୁଙ୍କୁ ପରାଜୟ କରିଥିବାରୁ ତୁମେ ତ୍ରିଜଗତରେ ପୂଜ୍ୟ ହୋଇପାରିବ ନାହିଁ। ମା ତ୍ୱଂ ଲବ୍ଧ୍ୱା ଶିଶୁ ଭୂତ୍ୱା ପୂଜିତୋ ଅଭୁଜ ଗତୟୁ। ଏ ରୂପେ ପାର୍ବତୀ ଦେବୀ ଶିବଙ୍କ ଆଗରେ କହିବା କାଳେ ରାମଙ୍କୁ ଦେଖିଲେ ସେଠାରେ। ଶିବଙ୍କ ପଦ ବନ୍ଦନା କରୁଥିଲେ ବସି କହିଲେ ତାହାଙ୍କୁ ପୁଣି ହୋଇ ମହାରୋଷି। ବୋଇଲେ ହେ ରାମ ତୁମେ ବ୍ରହ୍ମ ବଂଶେ ଜାତ ହୋଇଅଛ ପୁଣି ସର୍ବଶାସ୍ତ୍ରେ ସୁପଣ୍ଡିତ। ଯମଦଗ୍ନିଙ୍କର ପୁତ୍ର ରୁଦ୍ରଙ୍କର ଶିଷ୍ୟ ରେଣୁକା ତୁମର ମାତା ଅଟନ୍ତି ଅବଶ୍ୟ। ମାତାମହ ମାତୁଳ ଯେ ପରମ ବୈଷ୍ଣବ ବିଷ୍ଣୁ ସମାନ ଅଟଇ ତାହାର ପ୍ରଭାବ। ଯାହାଙ୍କ ଦୋଷରେ ଲୋକ ଦୁଷ୍ଟ ବୁଦ୍ଧି ଧରେ ସେମାନେ ତ ସାଧୁ ତୁମ୍ଭ ଉଭୟ ବଂଶରେ। ତୁମର ଏ ଦୁଷ୍ଟ ବୁଦ୍ଧି ହେଲା କାହିଁ ପାଇଁ ଏକଥା ତ ମୋତେ ବଡ଼ ସନ୍ଦେହ ଲାଗଇ। ଗୁରୁଙ୍କ ଠାରୁ ଅମୋଘ ପରଶୁ ପାଇଲ ତହିଁରେ କ୍ଷତ୍ରିୟଙ୍କର ବଂଶନାଶ କଲ। ଏବେ ଗୁରୁ ତନୟକୁ ପ୍ରହାରିଲ ତାହା ଗୁରୁ ଦକ୍ଷିଣା ସ୍ୱରୂପ ହେଲା ସିନା ଏହା। ଗଣେଶକୁ ଯୁଦ୍ଧେ ଜିଣି ଆମ୍ଭ ଦୁହିଁଙ୍କର ଆଗେ ରହି ଅଛି କେତେ ସାହସ ତୁମର। ଏହା ତ ଶଙ୍କର ନିଜେ ଅରଜି ଅଛନ୍ତି ତୁମକୁ ବର ଦେବାର ହେଲା ପରିଣତି। ପାର୍ବତୀଙ୍କର କୂପ ଦର୍ଶନ କରି ପରଶୁରାମ ମନେ ମନେ ପ୍ରମାଦ ଗଣିଲେ ମଧ୍ୟ ନିଜର ତ୍ରୁଟି ଆଦୌ ବୁଝିପାରିଲେ ନାହିଁ। ନିରୁପାୟ ହୋଇ ଉପସ୍ଥିତ କ୍ଷେତ୍ରରେ କର୍ତ୍ତବ୍ୟ ସ୍ଥିର କରି ନ ପାରି ପରଶୁରାମ ଅନ୍ତରରେ ଶ୍ରୀଗୁରୁଙ୍କୁ ଯଥାବିଧି ପ୍ରଣିପାତ ପୂର୍ବକ ଇଷ୍ଟ ଦେବତା ଶ୍ରୀକୃଷ୍ଣଙ୍କୁ ମନେ ମନେ ସ୍ମରଣ କଲେ। ପରଶୁରାମଙ୍କର ସ୍ମରଣ ମାତ୍ରକେ ସେଠାରେ ସହସା ଗୋଟିଏ ଦିବ୍ୟ ବ୍ରାହ୍ମଣ ମୂର୍ତ୍ତିର ଆବିର୍ଭାବ ହେଲା। ସେହି ମୂର୍ତ୍ତି ନିତାନ୍ତ କ୍ଷୁଦ୍ର ବାଳକ ସଦୃଶ ଦୀପ୍ତିମାନ ଏବଂ ଶରୀର ଶୁକ୍ଳବର୍ଣ୍ଣ। ସେ ସହାସ୍ୟ ବଦନ, ରତ୍ନମାଳା ବିଭୂଷିତ ଏବଂ ସୁନ୍ଦର ସୁଠାମ। ତାଙ୍କ ଚରଣରେ ନୂପୁର, ମସ୍ତକରେ ରତ୍ନ ଖଚିତ ମୁକୁଟ। ଭକ୍ତବତ୍ସଳ ମହାପ୍ରଭୁ ଭକ୍ତ ପରଶୁରାମଙ୍କୁ ବାମ ହସ୍ତ ଦ୍ୱାରା ସ୍ଥିର ମୁଦ୍ରା ଓ ଦକ୍ଷିଣ ହସ୍ତ ଦ୍ୱାରା ଅଭୟ ମୁଦ୍ରା ପ୍ରଦର୍ଶନ କଲେ। ଆଜ୍ଞା
ମତେ ଲାଗୁଛି ସମୟ ହବନି କାରଣ 10:03 ହେଇଗଲାଣି। ବିଷୟ ବୋଧେ ଲମ୍ବା ଅଛି, ଆହୁରି ଟିକେ ଅଧିକ ସମୟ ଲାଗିବ। ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ ଉତ୍ତର କାର୍ଯ୍ୟକ୍ରମ ତ ଅଛି। ଲକ୍ଷଣ ହେଇକି ଆପଣ ମାନେ ଗୋଟେ ଇଏରେ ଚାଲିଥିଲା, ବନ୍ଦ କରିବାକୁ ଇଚ୍ଛା ନଥିଲେ ବି ସମୟ। ଭାଇ ଆସିଗଲେଣି ତ? ଜୟଗୁରୁ ଭାଇ। ଆପଣ
ଯାହା ଦୋଷ ତ୍ରୁଟି ଥିବ କ୍ଷମା କରିବେ। ଜୟଗୁରୁ।
ଜୟଗୁରୁ। ଲକ୍ଷ୍ମଣ ଭାଇ ବହୁତ ବହୁତ କ୍ଷମା ପ୍ରାର୍ଥୀ। ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଯୋଉ ଇନି ବାଜୁଥିଲା ଆଉ ସଙ୍ଗୀତର ମୂର୍ଚ୍ଛନାକୁ ବନ୍ଦ କରିବାକୁ ପଡିଲା। କଣ କରିବା, ଆମେ ତ କାଳର ଅଧୀନ। ତ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କୁ ପ୍ରାର୍ଥନା କରିବା ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଆଶୀର୍ବାଦ କରନ୍ତୁ, ଆପଣ ତାଙ୍କ ସେବାରେ ଆହୁରି ନିଜକୁ କେମିତି ଗଢି ତୋଳିବେ ସେଥିପାଇଁ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କୁ ପ୍ରାର୍ଥନା କରୁଛୁ। ରମେଶ ଭାଇଙ୍କୁ ଅନୁରୋଧ, ସେ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଦେବେ ଆଜିର ସଂଘ ସେବକ ଏବଂ ଲୀଳା ପ୍ରସଙ୍ଗର ପାଠ୍ୟକ୍ରମରୁ ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ ଦେବେ QR କୋଡ୍ ମାଧ୍ୟମରେ। ଜୟଗୁରୁ ଜ୍ଞାନ ଭାଇ, ଆମେ ଯାହା ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ ଆଜି ଆସିଛି ସେତିକି ନେଇଯିବା, ସମୟ ହେଇଯିବ। ଆମର ଗତକାଲିର ବି ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ ଥିଲା, ପ୍ଲସ୍ ଆଜି ଗ୍ରୁପର ପ୍ରଶ୍ନର ବି ଉତ୍ତର ଦେବା ପାଇଁ କିଛି ଭାଇ ଅନୁରୋଧ କରିଛନ୍ତି। ଦେଖିବା ତାକୁ ଆମେ ପରବର୍ତ୍ତୀ ସମୟରେ ନେଇପାରିବା। ତ ପ୍ରଥମ ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ ହେଲା ରମେଶ ଲେଙ୍କା ଭାଇଙ୍କର, ତୀର୍ଥ ଭ୍ରମଣ କଲେ कर्म क्षय व चित्त शुद्धि किपरि हुए?
ଆଜ୍ଞା ଭେରି ସିମ୍ପଲ ଭାଇ ଠାକୁର କହିଛନ୍ତି ଆମେ ମାନେ ତୀର୍ଥ ଭ୍ରମଣ କରୁ ଏଇ ଯୋଉ କଥାଟି ଆପଣ କହିଲେ ଏଇଥିପାଇଁ ଠାକୁର ତାଙ୍କ ଭଳିଆ ସିଦ୍ଧ ମହାପୁରୁଷ ମାନେ କାହିଁ ତୀର୍ଥ ଭ୍ରମଣ କରନ୍ତି ନା ତୀର୍ଥଟାକୁ ସେମିତି ସେ ଚାର୍ଜ କରିଦିଅନ୍ତି ଯାହା ଯୋଉଠିକି ଗଲେ ଆମର କର୍ମକ୍ଷୟ ହବ ଚିତ୍ତ ଶୁଦ୍ଧି ହବ ସେ ଜାଗାଟାକୁ ଏତେ ପବିତ୍ର କରିଦିଅନ୍ତି ଏଇ ସିଦ୍ଧ ମହାପୁରୁଷ ମାନଙ୍କର ଉପସ୍ଥିତିରେ ଯାହା ଫଳରେ କି ଅନ୍ୟମାନେ ସେଠି ଗଲେ ତାଙ୍କର ଚିତ୍ତ ଶୁଦ୍ଧି ହୁଏ ପାପ କ୍ଷୟ ହୁଏ ଇତ୍ୟାଦି ଇତ୍ୟାଦି ଆଉ ଅଧିକାଂଶ ତୀର୍ଥରେ କୌଣସି ପ୍ରକାର ଆମର ଥାନ୍ତି ଧରନ୍ତୁ ଆପଣ ପ୍ରୟାଗ ଗଲେ ସେଠି ଗଙ୍ଗା ଯମୁନା ସରସ୍ୱତୀ ସଙ୍ଗମ ହେଇଛନ୍ତି ସେଇ ଜାଗାରେ ଗାଧେଇଲେ ବହୁତ ପୁଣ୍ୟ ବୋଲି କହନ୍ତି ସବୁ ଯାକ ପାପ ଧୋଇ ହେଇଯାଏ ଇତ୍ୟାଦି ଇତ୍ୟାଦି ସବୁ ଅଛି କଥା ସେଇ ବିଶ୍ୱାସଟା ନେଇକରି ଆପଣ ଯଦି କରିବେ ତାହେଲେ ଚିତ୍ତ ଶୁଦ୍ଧ ହୁଏ ଆଉ କିଛିଟା ପାପ ନାଶ ହୁଏ କର୍ମକ୍ଷୟ ବି ହୁଏ କେମିତି ହୁଏ ନା ଏଇ ଦ୍ୱାରା ସିଦ୍ଧ ମହାପୁରୁଷ ମାନେ ସେ ଜାଗାଟାକୁ ଚାର୍ଜ କରିଦେଇଥାନ୍ତି ଯେମିତି ଆପଣ ଆସୁଛନ୍ତି ପୁରୀ ଯାଉଛନ୍ତି ଗୋଟେ ଅଲଗା ଫିଲିଂ ଆସେ ମନ୍ଦିର ଭିତରକୁ ଯିବେ ଇଟ୍ସ ଅ ଭେରି ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ ଫିଲିଂ ସବୁବେଳେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଯିବେ ଆପଣ ମନ ଭିତରଟା ପୁରା ଭକ୍ତିରେ ପୂର୍ଣ୍ଣ ହେଇଯିବ ଆଟଲିଷ୍ଟ ସାମୂହିକ ଭାବରେ ବି ହଉ କିଛିଟା ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଉନ୍ନତି ହୁଏ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଇଜ ସେଇଟା ହେଉଛି ତାର ରିଜନ
गुरुदास चट्टोपाध्याय बाबू किए?
ଆଜି ପଢିଲେ ତାଙ୍କ କଥା ସିଏ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କର ସେ ନଳିନୀକାନ୍ତ ହବା ସମୟରେ ଯୋଉ ବହି ଗୁଡା ସବୁ ଲେଖିଥିଲେ ଚାରୁବାଳା ସୁଧାଂଶୁବାଳା ଇତ୍ୟାଦି ଇତ୍ୟାଦି ତରଣୀ ସେନବଧ ସେ ବହି ଗୁଡା ସେ ପବ୍ଲିଶ କରିଥିଲେ ତେଣୁ ଠାକୁର ତାଙ୍କ ପାଖକୁ ଗଲେ ସେ ଜଣେ ପବ୍ଲିସର ଥିଲେ ତାଙ୍କ ବହି ପବ୍ଲିଶ କରିଛନ୍ତି ତାଙ୍କୁ ଜାଣିଛନ୍ତି ସେଇ ସେ ପ୍ରଥମ ଏଡିସନରେ ମାୟାଜୀ ସେ କଥା ଟିକେ କହିଲେ ପ୍ରଥମ ଏଡିସନ ଜୟଗୁରୁ ଲେଖା ହେଇଛି ଲେଖକଙ୍କ ନାମ ନିଗମାନନ୍ଦ ନ ଲେଖା ହେଇକିରି ଲେଖା ହେଇଛି ନଳିନୀକାନ୍ତ ଉପନାମ ନିଗମାନନ୍ଦ ଲେଖା ହେଇଛି କାହିଁକିନା ଠାକୁର ଭାବୁଥିବେ ପ୍ରଥମ ବହି ସେ ପବ୍ଲିଶ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ଇଏ ତ ଚିହ୍ନା ଲୋକ ଆଙ୍କ ଦ୍ୱାରା କରେଇଲେ କାମ ହବ କିନ୍ତୁ ଆମେ ଯାହା ଜାଣିଛେ ସେ ଟିକେ ନାପସନ୍ଦ କଲେ ଏ ଟାଇପର ବହି କାହିଁକିନା ସେ ଉପନ୍ୟାସ ବାଲା କହିଲେ ଏ ବହି କ'ଣ ଆଜିକାଲି ଯୁଗରେ କିଏ ନବ ଠାକୁର ଯାହା ହଉ ତାଙ୍କୁ ସିଲେକ୍ଟ କରିଛନ୍ତି ୟୁଜ୍ କରିଥିଲେ ସେକେଣ୍ଡ ଏଡିସନ ଯୋଉ ପ୍ରଥମ ଏଡିସନ ବହୁତ ଜଲ୍ଦି ବିକ୍ରି ହେଇଗଲା ତାପରେ ସେକେଣ୍ଡ ଏଡିସନ ଯେତେବେଳେ କଲେ ସେ ନିଜ ଇଏକୁ ନେଇ ଆସିଲେ ତ ଦୁର୍ଗାପୁରରେ ଥିଲେ ଦୁର୍ଗାପୁର ପାଖରେ ସେ ଯୋଉ ଅଛି କୁମିଲାରୁ ଯାଇକି ପବ୍ଲିଶ କରେଇଲେ
ଆମର नेक्स्ट प्रश्न है सहज भाव इज कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ भक्ति एंड ज्ञान और ओनली भक्ति?
सहज भाव जोटा कह जाए सहजिया भाव बोली गोटे कहती भक्ति मार्ग से केवल भक्ति मार्ग किंतु एठी जो ठाकुर सहज भाव कहुच्छी ये भावटी है जो मैंने सिद्ध महापुरुष ठाकुर भाया सद्गुरु से मैंने निर्विकल्प फेरी आसला एते साधन बल थाए सेगुड़ाक से न चाहिए भी परिप्रकाश हो जाए सी चाहिकी टे चपे दे रखिकी आम मान भितर आमरी भाया चलती ताकू सहज भाव कह जो सहज भावटा यूज कराई ठाकुर तांकर से सहज भावटा धीरे धीरे केत समय लगी आसवाई कहीं अधिकांश समय बिना जनारे से स्फुरण हो जाऊला लोकंकर पाखे अतीन्द्रिय येटा देखा दौला सेटा को रहिले आम संगे लीला करवाटा संभव हुए तेणु से धीरे धीरे निजे चापी दियंती सहज स्टेज को नहीं आसती से कथा लिखाई
तो सेटा माने ज्ञान भक्तिर कॉम्बिनेशन ना केवल भक्ति
नहीं तो सिद्ध हला बेलू ज्ञान भक्ति सब मिसिके थिबे कौन गोटिके सिद्ध होउचंती
आज्ञा आज प्रश्न तो एतिकी बाकी से मुढ़ी विषय रे प्रश्न ताकू आमे नबा ना से भोग रंधन की
नहीं हम से क्वेश्चन आगु आंसर करछे आंसर टी हला आपण टिके केंद्र रे पचार दियंतु जहा कहिबे से अनुसार चलिबे केना आमे कहले से हबनी आमे ठाकुर बही रे लिखा है ठाकुर खाय बोल पाउतले मुढ़ी ता संगे लंका आ सोरिष तेल ये तीन जिनस आम जाचे बहुत बहुत भक्त तांकर प्रकाश करछंती ठाकुर एटा भल लागुतला किंतु आमर जगन्नाथ धारा रे जो ठाकुर आम पूजा करूचे सेटा उपयुक्त हबो कि नहीं केवल केंद्र ही कहि परिबो आमे हमर से अधिकार नहीं एटा आमे आउथरे भी कहितले भाई
आज्ञा
सेही आंसर आ कोन
तेणु आज जेहेतु समय हो जाइए रखा आमर किसी प्रश्न आज रही गला गत काली भी अच्छी तो ताकू धीरे धीरे क्रम अनुसार नबा बहुत बहुत शुभेच्छा समस्तंकु
गत काली जो येटा थिला पठैतिले जो येटा एक्चुअली टिके टेक्निकली टिके इन्वॉल्व ता पे टिके अपन 5-7 मिनिट मते देबे
हां मो सेहि पे आज कलिनी गत का
गुरु को रेफर करिया पड़ियो बहुत अच्छी ता देरे कर दो काली करिया भलो ठीक
अछि तेणु आमे आसंता काली पुणी 9टा बेला आसीबा काली जेमिति ଚେଷ୍ଟା କରିବା ଯେ ସମସ୍ତ ଅମୀମାଂସିତ ପ୍ରଶ୍ନର ସମାଧାନ କରିବା ପାଇଁ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ କୃପାରୁ ଆଉ ତେଣୁ ଆଜିର ସେବା ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କ ସହଯୋଗରେ ସମ୍ପନ୍ନ ହେଇଥିବାରୁ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ କୃତଜ୍ଞତା। ପୁଣି ଆସନ୍ତାକାଲି 9ଟା ପାଇଁ ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ ଅନୁରୋଧ କରି ଜୟ କୀର୍ତ୍ତନ ସହ ସେବା ସାଙ୍ଗ କରିବା। ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ ଜୟ ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ ଜୟ ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ ଜୟ ଜୟ